Hi, my name is Courtney, and today I'm going to be talking about parasocial relationships in relation to music marketing. And as a fangirl for the past 22 years of life, I find it really interesting seeing how different parasocial relationships develop and also how some artists market to this idea of building a parasocial relationship with their fans. I have a big announcement. I don't have anything to drum roll on. So I'm introducing the Crazy Club for $2.99 a month. You can get first access to my videos. So instead of waiting for them to be posted for the whole public wide world to see, you can see them first. And I tend to schedule them close to a week in advance. So you can get first access, first dibs. If you like me that much, you will get a shout out in some of my longer form videos. So a video like this, I might say your username or have it pop up on the screen at the end. So that would be something that's cool. And for the deal of $2.99 a month, like, hey, get me typing. So let's get into it. A parasocial relationship essentially is just one person or individual forming an emotional bond with something or someone that does not reciprocate that same bond back with them. I also don't want to start off this video by saying that like parasocial relationships are bad. There are some ways where they're really great. You see someone like Chapel Roan who's really promoting drag queens and really representing the LGBTQ community. And like these people are seeing themselves seen on a big stage. Their issues are being brought up to a big stage. They feel seen, they feel heard. And that is something that's really healthy and good because, you know, at the end of the day, like there are changes being made within those communities on a larger scale to where the public is more aware of these issues and more accommodating to said issues due to someone like Chapel Roan being a spokesperson, being an advocate for these kinds of issues that a lot of people might not know about. And apparently this isn't a new thing. Like this ties back to ancient Rome. People having celebrity crushes on like performers and people who would act on the stage. So I find that to be really interesting. But what really gets me is how a lot of artists really market to this idea of having a parasocial relationship with their fans, or their fans having a parasocial relationship with them. As an example, the number one that I can think of in my brain is Taylor Swift. Her whole brand works based off of her fans having a parasocial relationship with her. She has so much money, but in her music, she comes across as someone who is an everyday girl just going through it. She does not come off as someone who's taking a private jet to get to events for her own safety. She keeps that level of relatability where anyone can feel like, wow, Taylor Swift is in my brain right now. But at the end of the day, her lifestyle and your lifestyle do not connect in the way that it's being interpreted as connecting. She's done a wonderful job since the beginning of her career creating this relationship with her fans. During the Reputation era, she would join live streams that her fans are doing on Instagram. She would invite people to her house for multiple fan events. That is not something that a typical artist would do because, you know, your fans are not your friends typically. And so she made it seem like her fans were her friends. And therefore everyone cares about her on a deeper level outside of her music. And, you know, you even see her posting on social media, like making cookies and having fun with her girls and stuff, which is completely fine to share with the public. But a lot of people care about her personal life. And that's typically not something that a usual typical fan does. But she is more than an artist now. She is like a personality that a lot of people relate to and want to know more about. And so this is concerning on a lot of levels, but, you know, she also set herself up to do this. And I think as a result, more people are inclined to buy tickets to her concerts. More people are inclined to buy their merch. More people are inclined to defend her about a lot of things because she's harnessed this really deeply rooted parasocial relationship since the beginning of her career to where people feel as though they know Taylor as a person. They don't know her as just a singer, an artist who creates wonderful music and puts on beautiful shows. They feel like they know who she is as a person. When at the end of the day, the only people who know Taylor Swift are the people who actually know Taylor Swift. We know who Taylor Swift is as a brand. We don't know the real Taylor Swift. And I'm sure elements of that do come out in her brand, but she's created the illusion that everyone knows her on a deep level, and that promotes her sales and also engagement across all of our platforms. Just thinking along the lines as to like, why do people form parasocial relationships? As I said, a lot of people just feel the need to be seen. There have also been some studies done that kind of just prove that like people who tend to be lonelier develop more parasocial relationships because it creates less energy, right? If you're really into like, I'm gonna say Shawn Mendes because I love Shawn Mendes. If you're really into Shawn Mendes music, like you don't really have to worry about maintaining like a real relationship with Shawn Mendes. You have a relationship with his music and his persona. So there's not that energy of like, hey, Shawn Mendes is gonna show up at my house and say, why did you do this? And sometimes, like, you know, you don't owe them anything. You don't owe them $5 for dinner. You see these people as beautiful, funny, talented, and there's really no conflict involved. There's no conflict involved with the celebrity directly. But if other people come for your celebrity, you're gonna feel compelled to defend them due to that parasocial relationship that you have formed. Within the space of fan engagement on social media specifically, there has been an increase, I believe, in the amount of parasocial related marketing, because not only do a lot of artists like reply to their fans on things, or they'll like their post or repost their post, they also have official fan accounts that are run by a marketing team that appeal directly to the fans, keeping that person relevant. And even talking about things that aren't necessarily their music, like other events that they're at and stuff like that, to where fans tend to care more about stuff outside of the art. And also, social media gives artists a platform to post more stuff that just isn't their art. And they'll post their personal life sometimes on their big public profiles, to where fans really feel connected with that artist and who they are as a person. In the context of official social media fan accounts for artists, I felt compelled as a fan who even regularly post music content to specifically promote certain artists on my platforms, just with the hopes of gaining something in return. Like, for example, Livy's HQ, they will send fans packages with Olivia Rodrigo merch. And there was one point where I just almost fully posted Olivia, hoping that I would get a package for being a cool fan. And that didn't happen until like way after the fact, when I got one when I wasn't expecting to get one, so that was pretty cool. But by developing these accounts specifically curated to engage with fans and thinking that the fans are going to get something in return from the artist, it also really builds upon that parasocial relationship. And I really want to emphasize that this isn't something new. I remember being in like first grade and going to a little mini camp at my community center where we sent letters to the Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus, hoping that we would get something in return. And I did get like a little signed Miley Cyrus card in return. I don't think she actually signed it. I think it was like printed out, but you know, like it was exciting, the idea of getting mail back from a celebrity. Typically, whenever you send mail to your friends and family, they'll respond. But if you do the same thing with a celebrity and they respond, it's like, whoa, like they know who I am, even though they might not know who you are. And it was some kind of publicist that signed off and sent you something back. But also, like, how ethical is it really? I feel like you're setting your fans up for disappointment sometimes. As an example that I brought up earlier, Taylor Swift being everyone's good friend, right? Her tickets had like historic resale prices, but there are many other artists who have done face value exchanges for their tours. And I feel like if she truly was the people's princess in the way that her fans believe that she is, she would have created a face value exchange program within Ticketmaster. But I don't know what her contract looked like either. I think it's really going to be more telltale whenever her next tour goes on sale, if she happens to go back on tour. And especially for someone with younger fans, really exploiting that parasocial relationship, I feel, is extremely unethical. A lot of artists are now doing like text lines and phone lines, which is another way to really hone in on that parasocial relationship. And sometimes they'll respond, sometimes they'll pick up. And, you know, I think that's really dangerous for children to really feel like they have a connection with a celebrity, and they don't. And a lot of fans will speak on behalf of artists. They think they really do know them on a personal level, and it's just like, it's a scary thing sometimes. And also people relying on said celebrities for their own mental health. And I'm gonna be so honest, I have been there before. I have been there. I have been like, you know what would save me right now? A Shawn Mendes concert. And then back in like 2022, Shawn Mendes like canceled his tour, and I was like crying and like really disappointed in life. And I was already a standstill personally, but this was just like the nail in the coffin. Is that the saying? I don't even remember. That really felt like the nail in the coffin for me, like him canceling tour. Like it was something that I was really looking forward to. It was my birthday present, and like he is my absolute favorite artist of all time. And it was rough. And I mean, even with him, like he has written songs and dedicated them to fans. Like Look Up at the Stars, he dedicated to his fans. And like, that's a really heartfelt song to me because I am a fan. But also, like, you know, I know at the end of the day that he doesn't go home and think about me. And I think it's just really important to evaluate where you're at as a fan and the grand scheme of things in the world. And that while being a fan may help you in a lot of things professionally and developmentally, and also within your own identity as a person, like there is more to life than Shawn Mendes. Unfortunately, I know. There's more to life than a lot of these artists. And in a lot of ways, I'm scared to see what the future holds. Like with the rise of AI, like how are they going to utilize AI to take advantage of their fans? And I think it's also very important that artists create healthy boundaries with their fans. A really good example of this is Chappell Roan. A lot of people critiqued her for saying that she did not owe people pictures in public. At the end of the day, she's just a person. I think she said she had to rent out a store to go shopping in it. Like, that is sad. And the fact that, like, fans care so much about celebrities' personal lives it's kind of scary in a way. But I mean, they can capitalize off of that too as well. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've been interested in some people's personal lives. There have been some times where I'm like, man, I wish I could learn more about how X person does this on their free time, or X person's yoga routine type of deal, like to better myself. And, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of these people act like they have everything all figured out, but they don't. And it's really hard when their lives are put on blast. And a lot of people, it's just part of their job, but also the fact that fans want that as well. I think that there just needs to be more of a push for healthy boundaries in a way that works for the artist and for the fans. I've seen people not respect the personal space of certain artists, and people felt entitled to certain things from certain artists because certain artists did X, Y, and Z things. I've also felt entitled to certain experiences because I've been a fan for X amount of time. I've seen someone X amount of times, and, you know, I've done X, Y, and Z for said artist. Like, I'm owed something. But at the end of the day, I'm not. It's really hard to evaluate like where the positive space is in this type of marketing and also the negative space. Because while I do think this parasocial appeal is working extremely well, I'm just wondering what the long-term effects on people's mental health are. Given 2 years ago, I cried in my car for a half hour over a TV show ending. And I really developed a parasocial relationship with all the actors, the creator, like the whole show in general. And it was unhealthy. It was extremely unhealthy for me. And I can look back and see that now. I think once you realize the amount at which certain celebrities, fictional characters even, and TV shows are affecting you, it helps you understand who you are as a person more so. Streaming platforms are also catering to this relationship. You have Spotify doing fan-exclusive merchandise and top fan-exclusive listening parties. Like, you want to be at those things because you appreciate this artist so much. It really can be something fun. It can be something engaging. It can be something positive for the fan and also for the artist, but it can lead people down a path of darkness. I just really want to say that every artist is different. Every fan is different. I know a lot of people also have beliefs that are different than mine, but I just really wanted to talk about this through a little thought piece that I had the other night before I was going to bed. And I was like, yeah, you know, parasocial relationships in music marketing are really strong right now, I feel. And the people who are really good at it are the ones who are killing it. But I'm not saying that's the case for everyone. The pull that each individual artist has on their fan base, based off of their appeal to that parasocial relationship that their fans have with them, it's really interesting. I just want to say that this isn't something that's exclusive to music. It's also part of other industries. Like if you think of influencers, athletes, any kind of celebrity really. And honestly, any kind of big book, film, TV show franchise. There's always like that one character, something that people feel really connected to. One that I really think of is Jess from New Girl. So many people see themselves in Jess from New Girl, and they're so connected to that show because of that. Finding that ethical balance of things being like, yes, this is good for that parasocial relationship. People feel represented. People feel seen. People feel heard. As opposed to the celebrity is my best friend. And if you say anything bad about them, I'm going to come for you. I think it's fair to make constructive critiques just to make the fan experience better overall for everyone across every genre of music. And I know I predominantly talk about pop on here, but like I feel this also applies to other genres. And like I said, it applies to other industries as well. And if I'm being fully honest, like I've had my fair share of really deeply rooted like parasocial relationships as a fan of certain things and certain people. And I think as I got older, a lot of things came to light. Mental roadblocks that I was working through and certain pieces of art really helped me through them. And so I developed that emotional connection with them. I developed that emotional connection with the person who created the art because I was just like, wow, I feel seen. I feel heard. Like, you are my everything. And at the end of the day, like, that is not healthy for me. And it prevented me from growing in a lot of ways. And I really found that healthy balance of like enjoying art without fully caring about what the artist is doing in their free time. Even though sometimes that's cool and fun to know, just for curiosity reasons, but like understanding things on the level that I do now, that I didn't back when I was 12 or 15 or 16 or 18 or even 20. I just think this is a really interesting thought piece to think through, and also like a way that maybe other fans can self-reflect on like how parasocial relationships have affected them in their lives and how they can see their favorite artists curating specifically to appeal to them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. And I really want to do more like music thought pieces, as well as more fangirl guides. And I also vlog a lot of my concerts. Tell me what you thought of the video in the comments down below. And give this video a big old like. Thank you so much for watching. If you happen to join the Crazy Club, I will see you there. If you don't, then I will see you here too. Appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful day / night, depending on wherever you are or whenever you're watching this video, I guess. But have a good one.